Good morning, it's Anand here from Osho, Ireland. Today we are on the 100th meditation from the Osho Book of Secrets. Gosh, I didn't know. Well, here we are. It's kind of gone by so quickly. We've only 11 after this technique. And then then there's a big I don't know gap. We'll see. So this technique, Osho refers to it as being remain attached, and the instructions are: the appreciation of objects and subjects is the same for an enlightened as for an unenlightened person. The former one has greatness. He remains in the subjective mood, not lost in things. So this particular method focuses on we are the same, enlightened, unenlightened, moving through the world. We are both the same. But it's how we interact within the world. So for myself, I'm not enlightened, but I am growing in awareness, and I do see now from this technique that it's not that the situation is the situation may pull me in, and I would have in the past tried to change the situation as opposed to looking at myself. So this technique is discerning that. So what Osho says about this is a very beautiful method. You could start it as you are. No other prerequisites is needed. The method is simple. You are surrounded by persons, things, phenomena. Every moment, something is around you. Things are there, events are there, persons are there. But because you are not alert, you are not there, everything is there, but you are fast asleep. And then Osho goes on to say, he cites some example. For example, if there's a beautiful face, you're pulled in, or a beautiful car, or something beautiful that brings up desire. You're pulled in. You are no longer witnessing within yourself. You're pulled into that thing, the desiring. Whereas an enlightened person is subjective. Osho says, a Buddha and you both live and move in the same world. The world remains the same. The difference is not in the world. The difference happens in the Buddha. He moves in a different way. He moves among the same objects, but he moves in a different way. He is his own master. His subjectivity remains aloof and untouched. That is the secret. And Osho makes a distinction when he uses the word detached. It doesn't mean that the person has renounced. So an enlightened person is not living in a cave and has renounced everything. They're living within the world. I'm going to use Osho as an example where a lot of people say, oh, he wore fancy clothes, he had 96 Rolls Royces or however many he had all of these things, and he easily walked away from them. He enjoyed them while he was there, he enjoyed all of it, but he dropped it as well. It never had a hold on him. And that's the key difference. He says there are 3 steps of this growth. Firstly, the situation is the master. So I'm going to use an example for myself how this works in practice, because we're not going to be able to do this technique today. This is a technique that you continuously do throughout the day. So he says, first, the situation is the master. You are just dragged by it. So I was in New York during the week, and from morning till night, I heard cars honking. Burp, burp, burp. That's the situation. I started to feel very frustrated, really annoyed, and thinking, I need to get back home to where I live, where it's peaceful and quiet. I can't stand this sound, this noise. It's driving me mad. But when I remembered myself, okay, and became alert to my frustration, to my annoyance, I can't go out there and get rid of all the cars in New York and tell them all to stop honking. Or if I was a dictator, I could put a decree out there. No honking of cars. No. But what I can change is myself, it within myself. He says, you believe that you are, but you are not. Then secondly, this is the second part of this where we move through in the growth. Secondly, you are, and the situation cannot drag you. The situation cannot influence you because you have become a will. You are integrated and crystallized. So using the New York cars, honking, when I became aware of my frustration and my desire to stop it, and there's the key word, desire to stop it, and I saw I can't do anything about that. I accepted it. So I became alert to the sounds. I became alert to the irritation inside of myself. I became alert to all of that. And then there was a gap. It didn't irritate me. The irritation, the frustration just disappeared. But I had to remain constantly alert to that, because if I didn't, irritation would come in through the back door and it would come back again. Osho says about thirdly, and this is not what I have achieved yet, thirdly, you start influencing the situation just by your being there. The situation changes. He goes on to say, the first state is that of the unenlightened. The second state is of the person who is constantly aware but as yet unenlightened. He has to be alert. He has to do something to be alert. The alertness has not become natural yet, so he has to fight. If he loses consciousness or alertness for a single moment, he will be under the influence of the thing. So he has to stand on his toes continuously. He is the seeker, the Sadiq, the one who is practicing something. So for me, I had to constantly remind myself, be attentive to the irritation of the cars honking all the time. The third state is that of the Siddha, the enlightened one. He is not trying to be alert. He simply is alert. There is no effort to it. And then just to close on this, so how do we do this technique? How do we help ourselves to remain alert and then to eventually move into the state of enlightenment? And I'm beginning to suspect enlightenment is not some great big thing. It just means being aware of your light, I believe, but I don't know yet. And even if I do know, I'll never be able to share it with you. So that's one of those weird things. Osho says, he says, any moment you can become aware that something is possessing you. Then take a deep breath. Inhale deeply. So we'll just do this together. And exhale deeply. And look at the thing again. So I'd like you to pause now and think about something you desire, whether it's an object, a person, a lifestyle, a job, a way of being, anything that really consumes your attention, that consumes you, that you're conflicted with, that pulls you in. So just close your eyes for a minute and just think about that situation. Maybe bring it up within yourself, and what are the feelings that are around it. Really tap into that desire. What does it look like? Does it have a shape? Does it have a color? Does it have a texture? Do you feel a change in your body? And now look at it and inhale. Exhale. Is there a difference? when you look at it now, having created a gap. Osho says that if you feel that is too difficult, inhaling, exhaling, then looking at it, and you still feel it's pulling you in, dragging you in, he adds another layer to this. He says, if you feel it is difficult, if just by exhaling you cannot create a gap, then do one more thing. Exhale and stop inhalation for a single moment so the exhalation has thrown all the air out. Stop, don't inhale, then look at the thing. So let's do that one together. So inhale, exhale, hold. Look at the thing as you're holding your breath. I have to breathe because I'm talking. And when you can no longer hold, then inhale. Let's do that a few times together. So you inhale, exhale, hold. Look at the thing while you're holding. Or the situation or the desire. Let's do that again now. One more time. Inhale. Exhale. Hold. Do you see any difference now doing both of those, whether it's inhaling, exhaling, looking at the thing, or the desire, or the subject, or whatever it is? Is there a difference when you inhale, exhale, hold, and look at the thing? This is something that you can continuously do throughout the day and keep doing it. Osho says that the more you do this, the more easier it becomes. He says breathing is the bridge. He says try it. It will only be a single moment that you will have the feeling of witnessing, but that will give you the taste. So it's that gap. Throughout the whole day, he says, whenever something impresses you and a desire arises, exhale, stop in the interval and look at the thing. The thing will be there, you will be there, but there will be no bridge. Breathing is the bridge. And he says, the more things drop, the more their power over you drops, the more crystallized you will feel. Individuality has begun. He talks about the person who is pulled in and dragged in by these things is not a master, they're taken over. The thing is the master. I'll use smoking as an example. I used to smoke. I smoked all the time from the age 12 until on and off. I think I was probably in my 40s when I stopped. But then I would stop, start. It could be I'd smoke for 9 months and not smoke for 3 months. Until about, just 2 years ago, I was smoking on and off, but something said to me to start witnessing it, start really being present as I inhaled, which I hated doing, I have to say, because I knew I hated smoking, but I was there very, very present. And one day I stopped and it dropped. It just completely dropped. I have no desire for cigarettes. I have no longing. It's just, I did get COVID as well at that time. That perhaps helped, but people smoke around me or whatever, and I just feel nothing. It's just dropped. And that's what this technique can do for you. And We can't change the world out there. We actually can't, even though we'd like to think we can. But we can witness and see ourselves. And when that changes, it's your subjectivity is different. So that's the key. So I'd love to hear your thoughts as you play with this all week. Look at the things that pull you in, that drag you. See what happens. You know, when you inhale, exhale, look at the thing, or inhale, exhale, hold, and look at the thing. Thank you very much for joining me today, and I will be back next Sunday at 11 a.m. for 101 meditation technique. Thank you and have a lovely day. Bye-bye.